Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 2026 New Holland Canadian U-20 Curling Championship. I'm here this morning. My name is Rodney Guy, and I'm here with Krista Burns.
Hello, everyone.
This morning, this is the last scheduled round-robin game of the tournament. We are going to be watching the Northwest Territory play against Quebec. Both teams are out of the running for the playoffs, but still an important game for Quebec. They have to remain in the top 10 in the standings, and for that they'll be allowed to have two teams to continue to show up for the juniors.
Yeah, I think even when you might not be able to make the playoffs, this is going to be the last game of this tournament, and you want to leave this week feeling good about yourselves and feeling like you presented what you can.
So something, Chris, I was going to ask you about is you've been here a few times and you've been in this situation. How do you mentally prepare yourself for a game that really doesn't really count for anything, but I mean it's still important?
The weeks that I got to go to Canadian Championships were some of the best weeks of my life. You make a ton of memories with your team, you make friends from all over the country, and I think leaving here you just want to take everything in that you can because you don't know if you'll be back. Sometimes it's a once-in-a-lifetime kind of thing, so you want to just take in the crowd, take in the arena ice, and all of the production that's going on around you.
True. I mean, as your coach, it was a great experience for myself also. I mean, it's definitely some of the best memories of my life, for sure, and it's something to cherish. So we're about to start. Any thoughts?
Looks like the Northwest Territories have hammer, and I think it looks like Quebec is going to give us something fun to watch, and they're calling a guard straight away here.
That's pretty good. I know we've timed it a couple of times. It's already almost up to 16 seconds for the draw. Very fast.
Like anything lower than the collar and you're chilling. 3, 2, 3. We're smidge tight. 3, 2. Line if you can. 2, 2, 3. I don't mind 2. 2. We're curling quite a bit. 2.
Looks like we're getting lots of curl this week, which is good. It can be a bit tricky though for teams that most of these teams are used to only playing in clubs, which you can get a wide variety of different ice surfaces. So by this point in the week, I'm sure they've all adjusted by now.
Yeah, true. I mean, I anticipate a good game for sure. I mean, both teams must know the ice really well by now, so it should be a pretty good match.
Pretty close. Top 4. Line's good. Right here. So T. Line's good. Maybe your hair big. Back 8. Really curling. Back 8.
I'll say like you, first end, they're being aggressive right off the bat here. This is interesting.
I think in an 8-end game, it's a bit different than these games used to be 10 ends, so you could kind of waste a couple ends, get used to throwing, and blank a couple, but not so much anymore, which is great for the crowd.
That's true, for sure. A lot of times you also, a lot of teams will just play through in the first end very quick just to save time on the clock.
Yep.
Wheels. Oh, 11-5. Really close. Yeah. Good sprint. 15 really hard.
Seems a little tight.
Really hard. Race up. Yeah. Yes. Oh.
Sweepers are doing a great job keeping
Sweepers
it there.
did a good job, yeah. They called weights up about halfway down. I think that communicated to the skip. They could call them off for a bit.
Like 12-5. 11. 12-5. All right, you gotta bring her. You gotta here. Still called a lot. Still called a lot. Weed's close. Hack. Curl. Curl. Weed's good. Curl. Forward. Hard. 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 Breathe. Roll it. Roll it. Hard, 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 hard.
Great weight control on that rock. I think if you're throwing a little heavy on that kind of shot, you might sail by.
Right. It's nice to keep the rocks in play for sure. Nice control.
Great attempt there for the roll.
Really nice, Bryn. 12.
I like how they're throwing a nice quiet weight at it.
Yeah.
Trying to keep the rocks in play that way.
Forward here. Slender. Straight through. You got it.
Looks like they want to roll under the center here, which is an aggressive play.
Forward up. Yep. Forward. Up. Hard. Good read. Hard. Down.
So we have all.
Hard. Hard. Okay.
That one was a little too light.
I think it was just a little light on that one.
I think so.
So for everybody, it's all the 8 sheets are playing this morning for the final draw, and if they want to check in on any of the scores on the other ones, they're if they go to curling.ca/scoreboard, they'll be able to see any of the updated scores there.
It's a great chance here for Quebec to put some pressure on, get another one nicely behind that center, or sort of Christmas tree it around, and the Territories will probably have to play a run back of some kind.
Great shot. Kind of peeked out the other side a little bit, but still.
That's definitely a common thing that can happen as a thrower. You miss your first one a little light and tight, and then you overthrow your second one a bit.
So we have Léonie Lamar throwing in the 3rd position. She's a student from the Visual Arts, Collège Lionel Gru.
Looks like this one got into a bit of a wider path. Great weight though.
Right. And throwing third stones for Northwest Territory is Ella Skoj? Skoj? I'll have to find out the proper pronunciation of that for sure. She's a grade 12 student at Sir John Franklin High School.
Board out! Right here, big!
She might have just threw a little out and up on that.
Just threw the right weight on this shot, so they might tighten up the line a little bit, and she's got a good chance at making it.
Or less, I don't know, maybe closer. I think she had a great line, just maybe just
Almost the exact same as her last one.
Yeah.
A little tighter.
That's a pretty good shot. Good result.
I think the important part here is for Red to keep their shooter around and make Quebec go after it instead of being able to sink another one.
So at any point, would you have considered peeling that center guard? Or?
Yeah, you could have run it back into that top 12 one kind of at any time, but it looks like maybe they're more comfortable with a board weight kind of shot, which personally I can understand.
Looks like they're peeling the guard anyway. Which is
better to miss it that way than miss it wide.
It's a good result for sure.
Now you've got to decide which one of these you want to guard.
Been here all week, and I got to tell you, the ice has been really consistent. It's been great. Like the time's been the same, and it's always been the same amount of curl. I'm sure
and what hasn't been consistent is our Sudbury weather, so that's even more impressive.
That's good.
It's very foggy out today.
Good point.
I think they've elected to place the guards sort of in the middle of those two, let them see half of both of them. This looks close. Nice shot.
Great shot. Appears like she's looking at a double here.
Yeah. She might be able to get all three.
Well, where the broom is, I would say she's going to throw a lot of weight at it.
Yep, this won't be a board waiter.
On throwing skip, we have Sydney Galusha. She is a grade 11 student at Sir John Franklin High School, age 16. Have a few years left for this, I would say.
Great shot.
Great shot. Very nice.
She's got way more room on her next one, for one now. Quebec is looking to fully bury around that red sort of corner guard. Even if they show half of the rock, it's still a pretty good shot. This path is a little narrower than the draw path, so the speed might not be running quite the same yet. Looks good. Really great guess on speed.
She kept it in front of the tee also, which is good. Biting the 4-foot, I think.
I think if you had asked Sydney a couple shots ago if she'd be happy with a draw to the 4-foot for one, she would have taken it. Sweepers like it. Maybe a hair light. It's not curling a ton yet.
It's really hanging out there too. Eh?
Oh, I think she got into a wider path.
She got like into a...
Sometimes when the sweepers have to go on it early, they pull it out into some new territory and it loses its speed.
Bit unfortunate on that one there. After that great shot she just made to give her that opportunity.
But what do they say? If you're going to give up a big end, do it in the first one.
That's true. Good point. Right on. Welcome back. We're at the New Holland Canadian U-20 Curling Championship, watching the game between Northwest Territory and Quebec. Quebec stole 3 in the first end. What's your take on that, Krista, in the first end?
Well, I'm curious to see what Quebec is going to do here, if they're going to keep their foot on the gas or not. And I think that Northwest Territories might sort of change something up, get a couple corners up, and try to draw play to the side.
Interesting.
Looks like they are throwing this in.
I think it looks like they're throwing it right in the house, yeah. So I know when you were in the curling, in the junior curling, at that time there was just the 2 timeouts for the players. Now we have this 1 minute where they can interact with the coach and they can talk to them at the end of the scoreboard during the game. What's your thoughts on that idea?
Well, I think my thoughts might be different than a lot of people's thoughts. But as a young curler, I really wanted to do things my own way. I wanted to talk to my teammates about it, and kind of coach would come in before and after games. But I think learning-wise, I was better at failing on my own.
I mean, with that being said, I think, you had a pretty good coach there.
Yes,
I
yes,
understand.
I did.
Oh, wow.
This one looks a little hot.
I'm thinking they wanted it in the house. I didn't see where they put the broom, but
I think so.
just freeze up to their other one on the top 8.
That back 12 rock isn't too worrying for Northwest Territories. This one's also a little bit hot.
Do you feel, because a few rocks have been thrown in the first end, that the path in between the 4 foot like that is speeding up?
Well, paths to the wing, too, are tricky. The lead kind of has to be the guinea pig because they're always the first one to throw them. Oh, we called 7-8 again.
That was a nice shot.
I think Sydney's just looking to get rid of the back yellow and hopefully roll behind her corner.
What do you think happened in that shot there? Just a little too much weight, or
She might have just popped it out a little
just popped
bit.
it out a little?
This is more of a defensive call to get rid of the corner here. You don't have to.
Up 3 though, not a bad call.
Oh,
I don't think that was what they were hoping for, but
I don't know how many times our team got into trouble as soon as we started peeling. Sometimes just throw the center guard. This is still a pretty tricky shot here. You definitely don't want to jam. That was a gift you've just been given.
boy, that's really curling, eh?
Diving. Not bad. Fred's still sitting 1 and 3.
I can't hear you. No. I'll talk to them after to see if they can probably.
Sweepers did really well to hold that. Nice shot.
Nice shot. Little roll there.
She's doing a really great job making that curl.
Yeah.
Great sweeping.
Very nice. I guess what the only unfortunate thing with that is it's just behind the tee line a little bit, which it's still a great shot.
Quebec's got a chance to just blast it, get rid of any backing. Their yellow one's not going anywhere. Nice shot.
Yep. I think that's what the best they could do with that.
Yeah.
I like the same weight.
I think they tightened up the line a little bit here because they needed that last one to curl a lot.
He gets a hair more. Back 4.
This is out there.
Looks like they tried to go with a plan B there, right?
Yeah. Quebec could probably get rid of that red one right now, but the yellow one on top of it is pretty safe in there, so they're going to throw the card and put some pressure on.
I was going to ask you that question because without a hammer, would you not consider maybe taking that red out?
Well, most of this end she's been playing that more defensive shot, so I maybe would have thought she would have chosen that, but I don't blame her. I like this call. This is one of those awkward paths where you have to cross the center line late. If you do it too soon, you'll probably get an over curl.
I'd say that's pretty good. Takes away that.
Yeah, really good. The odds are pretty good Sydney will have this on her next shot, so learn from this one.
This pass is quick.
15-7 is pretty fast.
They got on it early. Looks like it might just be a little light, but it's still not a bad place to leave it if you're going to.
I timed that at a 16, so their guess was pretty close. Definitely usable rock, though.
Looks like Quebec's going to take that away from him.
I think nose here would be a pretty good outcome. It would force Sydney to draw quite a bit wider.
That guard on the left side pretty much takes away everything on the left side for her to get in there. She has to really, depending where the Quebec leaves the draw, she's kind of a tricky shot.
Quebec could also be a little more aggressive here. They could tap something around. It might give Sydney something easier, but just going for the hit.
Coming from that in out too is a little tricky though.
It's almost exactly what happened with the peel over there. So, as I predicted, she does have the shot again.
I was just going to say, like you said, Sydney, hopefully she learned from her first one. Just needs a little more on it.
I think her line is fine. She'd definitely get shot on that line. Those inside-out hits are notorious for causing problems. They're awkward to throw, especially when you don't throw them very often.
Close. I think room down. I think a little. T. T. All there right now. Coming down. Stay close. Stay close. Yeah. Right here.
This is close.
It's pretty close.
It is sliding.
Maybe a little wide, but it's coming in. Stick around for a second anyway.
Couple feet too far.
Yeah. Pretty great attempt.
You make moments like these possible.
Hello again. Welcome back. We're going into the third end of the Quebec versus Northwest Territory game here at the Jerry McCrory Countryside Sports Complex. Rod Guy here with Krista Burns.
It's been a bit of a one-sided game so far, but what I've noticed is I think the Northwest Territories are begging for a lot of their rocks to curls. They might be a little wide, or their releases are a little too positive. So that can be tricky. Sometimes on ice like this, it's a lot easier to throw a little tight and have your sweepers do the work to pull it out.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that.
Quebec is going to do what they chose to do last end, which is throw their first one in the house. And I suspect we'll see a corner guard.
So throwing lead is Bryn Korostowski. Forgive me if I don't pronounce that correctly. She is a grade 11 student at Sir John Franklin High School, age 16. So you know, this is a young team here, and I think they're all like, what, 16, 17, one 19-year-old. But I mean, they've got a couple of years left for the U-20. So
the more times you can play in this sort of like arena with all of the stuff going on around you, the better you get at it. This is interesting. Quebec is sort of going to get to choke off any sort of draw that could be made around this corner because it's a little bit tighter to the center line.
And throwing lead for Quebec right now is Alexander Legault. Okay. I can hear now, yes. Yes, great, thank you. Yeah. Alexandra Legault, she's a history student at Concordia University. 20 years of age. Is this where they were calling it, or were they hoping a little more?
I think they wanted a little bit more curl than that. Looks like we're throwing another corner here. I have so much respect for all these athletes competing at this level while being full-time students. It's not easy. A lot of times in between games, you're studying for a test or completing an assignment. I remember one time in high school, I'm pretty sure I missed the entire month of March at school because I was away curling.
That's true, because you were into the NOSA and the OFSA, along with all the other events. I can remember you girls always studying on the floor in the curling clubs and doing homework. And
I've had to write exams on planes. Looks like we're going to get lots of rocks in play this end. What'll be interesting is to see if Quebec starts peeling those corners, because that didn't work out so well last end.
so Northwest Territories has their 2 corner guards up now. Quebec's coming in, which is like an ideal setup for if you're up by 4. What do you think Northwest's going to do here?
Considering, I wondered if she was going to maybe just play the straight draw, because I do think Quebec might start peeling next. And those rocks in the middle, there's a pretty simple double at the top there. But she's going to choose the hit and roll instead. And that could be because she's been forced to some pretty tough shots. Oh, coach is coming out.
So just so you know, Krista, each 4 ends, the coaches are allowed 1 coach interaction at some point in time for the first 4 and then in the second 4. I'm pretty sure I know what you would have done if I would have called a coach interaction.
Turned away?
It would have been something we would not have required, I'm sure.
Okay, so we'll see. Looks like I think Sydney was maybe trying to hit the back one and Carrie talked her into hitting the front one instead.
No, it looks like they're throwing a lot of weight at that.
I'm not sure. Looks like sort of a control. Maybe they're hoping to get both yellows moving. This one's curling.
So throwing second for Northwest Territories, Morgan Stable. Interesting, she's a substitute teacher at age 19. That's pretty impressive.
Bit of an over curl on that one, but actually where the shooter ended up kind of acts as a second corner guard, so not a bad outcome. And Quebec is staying on the offense. Sometimes when there's so many corner guards, the thought is kind of, well, why bother peeling? There's just another one to go around anyway. This one didn't curl quite enough. There is a hole there, I think. Doesn't look easy.
I don't mind this call. It's early in the end yet.
Yep.
I agree. I don't think there's a hole there. If you do get through it, but then you're also allowing Quebec to come through it. think if you want to generate multiple points, I think this is the call here.
This looks close.
Close.
Nice shot.
Yep.
Quebec's going to try not to leave that hole again, and then I'm not sure what the Northwest Territories will do, if they're going to play a freeze or some sort of run back.
Right. With we've still got 4 rocks in play. Do you think they'll peel again, or?
I'm not sure. If this ends up good, they might regret not trying the hole. Getting this one to curl too. Looks similar to the last one. And no hole.
No hole now. Would you consider a double on that? Or try to make a double.
The yellow on yellow, like
on
yellow back?
On yellow, yeah.
You're probably leaving a center guard. Looks like she's going to just try and tap it back maybe a little bit. Even if you miss this a hair tight, you might rub the center guard and then roll in. That would be all right.
True.
You just don't want to be wide.
The fact that they're trying to make it curl sounds
Another
like
overthrow.
Yeah.
Big chance here for Quebec to really make it difficult. Summer's just letting her know there to be a little light. Sometimes as a skip, you know you're not supposed to say, don't be this or don't be that, so you phrase it a little differently. And it worked. She was light. Definitely the right way to miss that. I think Sydney just wants a more open house for her to be able to throw at. She's had some pretty tricky shots so far.
Able to get the one guard off. That's okay. Obviously Quebec, so you think she'll come in on this one? Or?
Yeah, I think she'll be a little bit more aggressive with it.
If she gets that into the top 8 there or something like that, that kind of chokes off the whole scoring area for Sydney to get in there. It's going to be difficult.
I would like to say I really appreciate the hair accessories from Team Quebec. They've got some great ribbons and clips. Love to see it.
Oh, you should check out their Crocs. They're really neat. So this is Summer St. James. She's a science student at Marianopolis College, age 17.
5 is pretty close to what they were looking for. It's a great shot.
Yeah, great shot. So Sydney's got 2 choices. I don't know if she'll look. Do you think she'd consider those 2 reds, trying to do a double tap on that side?
Maybe
or?
on her last one. I think this one she's going to play the middle.
So just a reminder for everybody, if they want to check out the scores on the other games, they can go to curling.ca /scoreboard to get any updates, what's happening in the other sheets.
She made a shot like this in the first end. Let's see if she can do it again. Oh, she might be a little wide. Well, not bad.
Not bad, a little, not a bad result. I don't think that's how they wanted to do it, but it works.
Yep. It's not a called shots game.
No.
Thank God. Quebec trying to decide, I think, how deep they want this rock. Looks like she's calling like a 3 guard. Sydney should have a draw to the pin on her last one if this is made.
Sorry, how deep do you think she's going to go with this?
3,
or
she said.
Just 3?
Her first one was really great, so I'm thinking this will be close.
Pretty much what she just had on her first one, I think, is what she's...
Like a hit, hit, where we give her hit. 3, line close, 3, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 4 is fine. 3, 4. Line's okay, guys. 4 max. All you. 4. 4 max.
4 is a little deeper than I wanted, but we'll see if it slows down.
Curl if you can. Curl if you can. Curl. Both of you curl. Curl, both of you. Both of you.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, there's no hole on that side.
So she's trying that,
Your shot?
the double, you know.
Not sure how much weight she's gonna throw. Okay, so she's just throwing it softly, which
Right.
I think is a good call. There's lots of other rocks in there, so even if this sort of just
Try to
moves
keep
up a
your
couple
red-
feet.
Even if it's not shot, at least cut them down.
Yeah.
Like 13. Okay.
Looks like nose isn't too far off.
5. You got it. Somewhere there. You got it here.
This sort of weight can be tricky out here because you're not sure if it's gonna run nicely or if it's gonna sort of take in early.
He's close. Back line. Yep.
Weight looks good.
Back line.
It's really moving.
Yeah.
Back line.
They can look at it. They're looking at the other one.
Yeah.
Curl. No.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
That's a bit unfortunate. but
yeah, that was bad luck. So Quebec with another steal.
Welcome back. We're here at the Jerry McCrory Countryside Sports Complex. We're in the fourth end, watching Northwest Territory play Quebec 1. Score is a bit of lopsided right now, but I don't think that really dictated how the game's been going.
I think the Northwest Territories have just had a hard time getting anything going. They've spent a lot of the game chasing.
And I think they were a little unfortunate on the third end. I mean, she threw it well, just a little over curled and had a little bad luck with it.
Yeah, Sydney's had some pretty tough shots to look at.
What do you expect to see from Quebec on this end?
I think Quebec is going to be hitting everything, which could open the door. We don't know.
Looks like they're putting a center guard up, which I'm kind of surprised with.
I think it might just be light.
I don't think that was the intent.
No. I think any rocks in play here are good for the Northwest Territories. That's why I think she's guarding this. That's a fun call. It's definitely possible if they threw the corner here, Quebec would just peel their own out on the next one. So I like this.
Is she coming around?
I think she's guarding it.
We're putting a center guard, right?
Yeah.
Question for you here, though. Would you not be looking at a corner guard?
I think that because of the deficit, you need to get creative.
So do you feel at this point maybe this is their better chance of getting...
Yeah, try something new. Make Quebec think a little bit. It looks like we're going to see an attempt at a tick. Because that red rock is not on the center line, they can move it away from it, but they cannot hit it out of play. This looks close. Got it a little bit too thick.
Still not a bad resolve for Quebec, I guess, considering they can go after it, I guess, on their next shot.
Yep.
And for Sherry, I guess the strategy seems to be working out the way it started off. Sydney, sorry. Call her Sherry. My apologies. Pretty good throw.
Yep. I wonder if at the break they'll have a conversation about maybe just tightening up the broom a little bit.
Looks like Quebec's looking to do a little hit and roll inside. Good shot. Oh.
It's not super easy to get the roll under. You'd have to throw a little quieter.
I don't think it was quite the roll they were hoping for, but still a great shot.
So what I've been throwing? What do you do those last couple boards?
Backline's a little lighter than they were hoping for. Get some sort of split on their own. Quebec looking for the run back here. The miss is definitely to be a little bit wide. That's still a good outcome. The red is gone.
Good result.
The Quebec sweepers have done a really great job. They've had a lot of early calls, and lots of them they've held. Open house though, and a couple of guards, so still a chance here for the Northwest Territories.
Big ad, really big ad. Keep looking.
Great shot.
A nice shot, yeah.
Really good.
Front of the tee, hiding behind the guard.
This is always something that's a bit weird to look at, peeling your own guards.
Going for the peel like that, do you think they would consider doing a run?
I think if the score was a bit closer, you might. But you're just looking to keep things as clean as you can. Looks close.
You might be doing a run. I know that's not the run.
The
Oh,
skinny way.
great.
Nice shot.
Still managed to keep one out there counting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely the frame of mind for Northwest Territories right now is to be light on anything, keep things around.
Do you like the location that they're putting this one at?
I think so, yeah. I think you just have to hide wherever you can right now. It's pretty unlikely they'll leave it double. You'd have to be pretty wide to do that.
Would you have not considered, say, throwing it to the other side of the house?
You could, but your problem is that this red one is open. This looks all right.
Top 4. Top 8.
It's a pretty good shot. You might
Pretty
be able
good.
to see a little bit of it.
I don't think the double's there.
No, it would be really difficult. So Quebec just looking to hit the open one. And maybe try and tuck a piece under. Definitely the safe way to play that shot.
I would imagine Quebec's happy with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like staying here. Hey, you got it here, you know it. Same. Where? Top 4. See?
I'm not sure if they're just trying to freeze.
Back 8. Back 4. Just back 4. Hard, you gotta go. Sorry, my bad.
Nice weight there.
Were they trying to freeze on that?
I'm not sure if they were trying to freeze or if it was just the straight draw to the wing again. I'm not sure.
It's not a bad spot.
Quebec has to be a little bit careful here. Definitely don't want to over curl on this one. Summer's been throwing really well today, but I do think she's had mostly draws.
It's looking good.
Nice shot.
Yeah, very
Really
nice.
good.
That's true. I don't think she's had to make too many
Yeah,
draws
she's
or
had a few guards, yeah.
Hitting very well, though.
Yeah, that was very precise. I think Sydney's trying the hit and roll behind the red in the corner. I think she's throwing a 10, so that top yellow might squeeze out of the 8-foot, but might not. I think the roll's more important.
Looked like she kind of might pop that out a bit.
Yeah,
eh?
lots of rotation too, so those usually run a little bit straighter. Looks like Quebec is going to try and chase this red.
Looking at that, I would say though the red is third rock, right? It's hard to tell, I guess.
Hard to tell, yeah. Now the last inside out throw she had over curled by quite a bit, so we'll see if she can make an adjustment here.
Almost feels like you're going against the grain when you throw like that.
Yeah.
It's I say, but guessing that the sweepers had to get on it right away.
Yeah.
She might have just had a little inside there.
Yeah, it does look like yellow is 1-2. There probably is a double there. You just don't want to throw this too hard because your shooter's got to stick around.
Really, she's just off center and gets the double. I guess she opportunity for two.
Yep. Looking to throw the same weight as her last one, which I think was sort of a control weight. She didn't pop that one out quite as much as the last one.
9-5, 10.
Looks like we might just be nosing.
Close. No. Nice try.
Another steal of one for Team Quebec.
Yep.
Northwest Territories had a couple more chances that end though, so they're going to go to the break and talk about what else they can do to get a point on the board.
Today we learned to put one foot in front of the other. That with a little hard work, great things will happen. We can go for gold, but what matters most is having fun. We learn from some of the best, improving our skills, building confidence, and making friends that feel like family. We are proud to be the future of curling.
Look at that shot.
See how he reacts. There's a front move in here. It's them both, too. Ah, great shot. That's a great shot. Oh, he's going to pick it right out of there. He's got it.
That is what you need to become the Canadian
Gripper first. Perfect.
Don't need the brooms.
Yep, you got it. See ya.
Hey, Connor. Stay with it. Miss you. Stay with it, Will. What do you got? You got one. You got two. You got three for the game.
Time to go home, kiddo.
Just one more throw, please.
Thank you for making moments like these possible.
Here we are, halfway through this 9 a.m. draw. Team Northwest Territories against Team Quebec 1. It is a 10-0 lead for Team Quebec. We've seen some pretty great shots actually from both teams through the first 4 ends. Territories are just having a bit of trouble with some overthrows and getting some points on the board and getting something going. But Quebec has made it really difficult for them. They've really placed a lot of draws and guards very well, and they've made it difficult for the Territories to get shots in scoring position. But we'll see if here in the 5th end that can change. They might switch up some strategy. I think the Northwest Territories too right now in their discussion are probably just having a chat about how to just sort of feel good in these last few ends of your tournament and kind of take a moment to just hang out with your friends doing something you love. Quebec definitely calling this rock in. We'll see if the mop fooled her. Great throw, great judge as well.
So I noticed now after the last end when they went around the center guard, I see they're going back to their corner guard set up here.
Three, tight.
Yeah, I think the last end, because that rock wasn't in, they tried to sort of take advantage of it, but now you've got to stick with playing to the wings, I think. They might stack a couple on the same side, although this one didn't go quite as far to the side as they were probably hoping, but it's not in the house.
Control zone.
Yep.
That's always a good spot to be.
Looks like we're looking for sort of another kind of tick. This is a tricky shot because leads don't play it now nearly as much as they used to. A little light. It did tick it in though, so.
Oh, yeah.
Really good communication on that shot.
It's a great shot, I think. Now they can attack it on the next one.
Thought maybe the territories would guard that red now that it's in, but going to the other side. It's a little more in the area that they probably wanted it. Now, if that rock hadn't been ticked in the house last end, last shot, they wouldn't have been able to go at it. So. Pretty good. Both teams have gotten caught a little bit in these sort of inside outs near the center line. They're tricky.
I think the key here for Northwest Territories is to make sure that they keep their rock in play.
Yeah. Quebec has spent a lot of the game being able to draw where they want, so make them hit instead and see what happens. Close there, just not quite enough curl.
It's very close. Good game. Good shot though. Still a good throw.
They're just going for the high one here. This looks good. Nice throw. Again, those are much harder than they look. I think Sydney's thinking it's still pretty early in the end, so throw another guard or two.
Yeah, I like this call.
Yeah.
Some people might be tempted to just try to come in there, but like you said, it's early in the end. There's still a lot of rocks to be played.
Nice throw. It's in a bit of a different spot than the last one, so something new to look at.
Great peel.
There we go. Left a bit of a corner on the other side though, so she might be able to use that. Not easy to draw there right now.
That yellow in front of the 12-foot kind of takes away that path coming
it's in the way for
from
sure.
the inside out.
These are very hard to throw.
I don't think there's been a rock out here, has
No.
there?
And you want to throw it a little bit more positive so it doesn't kind of grind in any frost that might be out there, but the sheet's looking pretty good, so it might run really clean.
She did. She threw a lot of more positives, like you said.
Still moving out. We haven't caught any curl yet.
Distance, distance, distance. Top 8. Hard, hard. Keep going. Hard.
Boy, that is a great shot. Yeah.
It did come down a lot though. Sweepers were calling back 8 halfway down. Nice shot.
It's almost like she was listening to you with the positive rotation there.
Quebec just hitting what they can see here.
Do you think, obviously the scoreboard dictates a lot of it, but could Quebec have considered saying, putting a guard up there, their shot raw?
Maybe later in the end that they might have, yeah, but I think it's still a bit early.
That red is well guarded now.
Looks like they're playing freeze or freeze bump maybe. They could just play the straight draw around that tight yellow guard. 15-5, 15-8, so speed has held up really well. That's the same time they were given a few ends ago.
I think we're pretty close.
Would you not have considered maybe a hit and roll on that?
You could, but again, like you said, keeping rocks around is pretty important, so your odds of that are better with a draw.
Hard curl. Hard curl. Hard.
Just a little bit heavy, eh? Good shot, though, still.
A little tricky for Quebec to sit 2 after this. They might end up leaving some sort of pocket. I think she said she's looking for a longer roll.
And managed to keep
Still
that other
same
yellow around. That's a great shot.
If she does make the double too, she'll be open, so Quebec will be happy about that.
True. So with that amount of room, she's still considering the double. I guess it curls
I'm
that
not sure
much.
unless she's throwing it like a hack waiter to get the roll under, maybe. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is sort of in that 4-foot line, which sometimes can be a little bit slower.
All there. Back 8. Back 8.
This one is running a bit.
Hard, Ella. Back 4. Back 8. Back 8.
Her weight wasn't too far off what
No.
she wanted, just maybe a little bit too much ice, or it ran a little straight. I think they would rather force Sydney to draw here, so just nosing this would be pretty good.
Summer's been really on with her hits today. Like she's really
had a great
thrown
game.
well. Yeah.
Nice shot.
Yeah, a nice shot. Yeah.
Nose hit on that one will not be enough.
So it looks like she's elected to go with the hit and roll.
Which is tricky.
Tricky. Would you consider a draw in there, maybe?
I think she's thrown, like most of the game, she's been throwing these like board waiters.
So was that something like, would you, as a skip, like your comfort zone kind of thing at
Definitely,
this
yeah.
point in time?
Yeah.
I mean, the draw is an option, but I guess she feels better with the,
Yeah.
what you're saying is she's throwing a lot of these board weight.
She just
kinda.
threw this spot, so I think she's got a good idea what it's going to do.
Right.
She does have to hit it a little thin, though.
They got on it right away. They seem to be holding it pretty well, though.
Looks close.
It's close. Super shot.
Great shot.
Yeah, that was
That was
not an
tricky.
easy shot. Great.
Here
Good
we
for
go.
her.
Northwest Territories on the board.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you get rid of hammer, you can really change things up, and maybe we'll see a few center guards here, and a pretty interesting end.
I find all in all for most of the game, it's been very aggressive. Hello, welcome back to the U-20 Canadian Championship. I'm here with Krista and at the Jerry McCrory Countryside Sports Complex. Northwest Territories playing Quebec. After 5 ends, scores 10-1. What's your take on the game so far, though, Krista?
Yeah, I think the Northwest Territories have just been struggling a bit, and they've come up against a really hot skip. Summer's been having an excellent game, and it's tough to get things going in that case.
I find every end has been really interesting. Like, it's not like Quebec's been very aggressive, throwing a lot of rocks in play, and it seems to be a lot of rocks in play.
It's been working, though, right? Like, sometimes switching tactics can sort of be at your detriment, so.
Very entertaining.
Yeah.
I think you gotta go. You gotta go. Go, go, go.
I'm sure the Northwest Territories are happy to get rid of hammer.
Been there before, haven't you?
Many times.
I think you've almost wanted to give them the hammer
Yep.
after a couple of
Yeah.
ends.
I'll be louder. Don't worry, I'll be louder.
Yeah, hopefully this will change things for them.
They're going to want to throw 2 centers, but that one is sort of right in the middle, so the next one will be a little tricky to get the most separation out of it. but Quebec going around the centers. They don't need any more points, so there's no need to throw a corner or anything.
So, with that being said, would you consider just throwing rocks through?
You could. Yeah, you could. You could also throw one to the wing, but that can sometimes get in the way of your peel. I do think that they've been drawing really well, so like if you can make these perfect, it puts a ton of pressure. That one is a little too deep.
Okay, so just a bit more in your hand. Really similar though. Yeah, really similar. 91. You got it. It's like Loki less. I would go. Wait only. Similar. Mine's good. Hey. Whoa. Top 12.
I think we're looking for just a tight guard on this one, but it's hanging a bit wide. That's the same kind of pattern we've seen, just not quite enough curls, whether that's a broom placement thing or a release thing.
Not a bad result, though, I wouldn't think.
No,
You're still keeping
guard is good for territories
for
right now.
Northwest Territory.
Quebec looking to come in again here and not let the Northwest Territories have a chance at that freeze. This over curls a little bit. Great weight though. If they can get one glued on here, it's going to be tricky for Quebec.
Less is more? Or no? Wait, what? Less is more? No. Yeah. Might have to go. Might have to go. Yeah, gotta go line. Yeah, hard.
This one is curling early.
That one seems to be really moving over, eh?
Yeah, just a bit light on that one. But light is the miss. All right, so you were right, Quebec staying on the offense right now. Really curling too.
Sorry, my bad. It's okay. Not enough there.
Not bad. Freeze isn't there anymore, so just looking to tap that back a little, maybe make a pocket.
Got a question for you though. Would Quebec not have considered? Why would they not consider maybe starting to open up the?
Yep, that's a good question. They could have for sure gotten those top two reds, but I think they were worried because that one is back four, that if ever there was a freeze, it would be tricky, so they wanted to beat them there. Plus, this strategy has been working so far this game, so maybe that's what they're thinking. Shot. It's a really usable rock.
Yeah.
So now you have to decide if you're all in or not.
Looks like they're folding.
I'm not sure how they're playing the peel. might go the other way at it.
Did she go with that turn?
I don't know if she was worried about if she threw the other turn, if she was worried about maybe dragging
The
back.
drag
but
effect? I was just going to ask you the
I
question.
think it might have been worth it anyway.
Hey, you got it here, Ella. You got it.
This is a pretty good chance here. Move one of those yellow rocks behind the tee line. You'll have a couple reds in there lined up.
Sit here, big. Back 8. Back it. Yeah. Big back 4. Back 8. Line only. Back 8.
This looks okay.
This is moving over there nicely.
That's good. Both of those reds are really difficult to get out.
Looks like it might be close for second shot there. Eh?
Now you wonder, if you do peel that center red, are you just making it easier for the Northwest Territories to use those two?
That was 14. Otherwise, I think it would have been like back 8. Otherwise, it was quite back 12. But otherwise, like, it curled. Did you see it curl? That one, it would have been only back 8. I don't know. It would have only been back 8.
I guess with the score the way it is, Quebec's happy to just take one if they need to.
Yeah, I think they're sort of wavering on their strategy a bit. One shot, they're playing the guard game, and the next shot, it's the peel game, and the next shot, we're back to the guard game. So Northwest Territories is definitely making them think.
That's a pretty good spot, eh? I would think.
A little tighter, but I don't think you can get at it. Definitely got to try some fun stuff here.
On the nose. You got it here.
I think they're looking for the yellow, red, yellow, yellow.
You got it.
Usually when you're throwing these shots, you just have to sit in the hack and tell yourself, just hit it nose.
9, 5, 9. It's close.
Let's see what happens. Just the peel.
1. Yeah.
Quebec just going to put that rock right back. It's a little bit scary for Quebec because Northwest Territories makes one really good one, and they're in really good shape. This is a bit deep. You just want to make sure you don't line it up. Don't think they did.
It's all about the angles at this point, I guess, eh?
Yeah.
That's like a lot of taps. But on this yellow one,
Not sure you can see enough of that yellow.
Hard to tell, but I would obviously they're looking at it.
You won't be hitting the reds with much contact, so it's going to lose a lot of steam.
And she just has to miss that high center
Yeah, the
guard, I
tighter the
think,
better.
up in the 2 section.
you got it.
Again, though, she said she's just throwing board at this, so that's definitely her comfort zone.
playing a game, is that something you would consider, like, if you've been throwing a lot of board weight, are you going to try to stick with that, or would you?
Well, yeah, especially like the Northwest Territories haven't had a lot of really up-weight shots because they've been playing the soft game so much for points. Oh, that was really close. The Reds are lined up a little bit better for her now if this guard happens to overcurl at all.
So I would say at this point, like what you're saying with the lineup there, is basically if she can hit that red anywhere, she becomes shot rock. So and it looks like somebody's just trying to take that away from her.
Yeah.
Go behind the rock and watch where it's coming in.
And with Summer, you said it earlier, most of her shots have been hits, so she hasn't really been throwing a lot of draws or guards through this game, like just a handful. Right?
I think you would prefer to be a little bit wide here. You also don't want to be too tight because they probably will just run it in.
Yeah, I guess you can afford to be a little more out.
Yeah.
Seems to be really
Doing the early lean on that one to keep it out there, but it does look like it's curling.
so. They're trying to leave it up as high as they can to avoid that.
Like it's just over curling a little bit.
Yeah.
Coach Carrie Galusha coming in. There's a few options here. A lot of them are really difficult, but I think any sort of contact you can make in the house, the red is winning the angles. You could play an in-off off that side red to hit the other two reds to get the yellow out. You could maybe run back.
I guess there's
One of the other red
a few
guards.
options of how you want to go at this.
Yeah. She will have to throw this hard.
And like you said, she's been throwing like a
Yeah.
backboard weight more
Yeah.
or less. So basically the weight's kind of right in her wheelhouse right now where she's feeling good. Very doable shot.
She's actually been throwing her big weight shots pretty well today.
Yeah, oh, she threw
This
a lot
one,
of
I
weight at
think
this
she
though.
just straightened it out at the end.
Yeah.
I do that too.
So Quebec's counting one for sure.
1, 2.
Possibly two. From the looks of it, I think Summer's just going to throw this rock through, and
Should be trying a really wide draw. I don't know.
Can you get in there enough? Tight. You guys are gonna have to. Okay.
oh, you think she's trying to
Yeah.
come in there?
Can't hurt yourself.
True.
It's actually pretty. I was like up there.
She's been drawing very well, so they did get to see that really wide one on the other side last end, and it ran a little bit slower. So they probably have information from that. I think it's a little heavy, but it might come down. Really good
Great
try.
weight, almost like just.
That'll be 2 yellow for Quebec, and the Northwest Territories is going to be shaking hands.
Looks like, yeah, this is the game.
Quebec was looking really, really strong in that game. It's unfortunate they don't have another one to play, but I know they'll come out of that one feeling good about themselves.
With that being said, you got obviously the quality of the game is great, and that tells you that all of these teams, the level of play that they're playing at,
It's very impressive.
Impressive, for sure.
And I'm
To not be in the playoffs and playing that well.
And I'm sure they'll all see more national events in their future.
That's right.
It's a beautiful blend of strategy, skill, and creativity. Curling. But it's our people that make us great. We're a mosaic of countless experiences. We communicate and collaborate. We value new ideas and different perspectives. We learn from our past and from our future. We may even disagree sometimes, but it's in our differences that we can see our strengths. The beauty of our sport is reflected in our people and our values. Regardless of your ethnicity or gender, your abilities, your stage in life, your beliefs, or who you love. The rocks and the ice don't discriminate, and as curlers, we won't either. We will be the change that we want to see in the world. Curling is a place for everyone.